青や強がって飛び乗って風に流って青空昨日を越えろ
Hello everybody, welcome back to Talking MONS. It is our Digimon Adventure 2020 recap podcast. We are back again to talk about the new episodes 25 and 26, dive to the next ocean, and break through the sea monster barricade. We will someday get back to single episodes, unless you like us doing double episodes. You know, I don't know.
It was
Let us know.
Thanksgiving last week, so that's a perfect excuse.
Yeah, but I would actually be interested, people listening to this, if you do prefer us doing single episodes, or if you like this whole doubling up thing. Let us know. You can let us know on our Facebook, our Twitter, our YouTube, our Discord. If you'd like links for those are in the show notes. All that good stuff. Sorry. My name is JD, and I am here with my two good friends, Jeanette and Gary.
Hello.
Hi.
And we're here to talk about some Digimon. You know, that's why we're all here.
Wait, this is a Digimon podcast?
No, this is the... Sorry, I was trying to pull some other anime out of my ass, and all I was thinking about is Black Clover, because I've been watching it lately.
Anyway, let's get back to the show.
Yeah. So, where we left off... in episode 25, Devimon has been defeated. You know, the first big bad of the first arc is defeated. And Matt, Ty, and TK are falling from the sky on top of the giant turtle. Because apparently they've been on a giant sky island this entire time.
I forgot they were on a turtle for the past few episodes.
Yeah, there was a giant turtle, and he was holding Devimon's castle, and it wasn't until the end of the Devimon fight that I realized they were fighting on its back the entire time.
Poor turtle.
That turtle sure didn't forget.
There's just a massive crater. There's just a massive crater in the back of this turtle.
Including this episode, that turtle goes through so much shit.
I know. It's they fall out of the sky for like a whole 20 minutes.
Yeah, this entire episode, they were falling.
There's no such thing as terminal velocity in the Digimon world, apparently. But yeah, so 25, Dive to the Next Ocean, is pretty much just about falling.
And try to make sure they land safely.
Yeah, because it's not bad enough they're falling thousands of feet out of the sky. A bunch of Mamimon and Big Mamimon are just attacking them because they just want to be dicks about it. No real reason. They just kind of show up out of nowhere and start attacking the turtle.
Yeah, they're somehow in the sky, even though they don't look like they're flying Digimon.
So I have to level that those Digimon, the weird little magnet bomb things, their face reminded me of that one character in My Hero Academia, like Mineta or whatever his name is. and that just rubbed me the wrong way.
Mineta is a problem.
And it's a problem for the turtle here. They were doing bad things to the turtle.
They explode. They're little bomb creatures, and they're just kind of exploding on the turtle because they just want to be dicks. And Matt and Ty are spending pretty much the whole entire episode trying to get them to fuck off.
I felt so bad for the turtle. It's just like I was screaming at the screen the entire time for them to go help the turtle because I cared so much about him. I would die for him.
And it's just weird. Like they're like, oh, we have to find a way to slow the descent. So like, you know, this massive turtle doesn't like die on impact. And they're big, which it's weird because like their big revelation is like, oh wait, these Mamimon and Big Mamimon are kind of squishy and they kind of stick to things. So we're just going to knock them off the side. They're going to ricochet off the ocean and stick to the bottom of Eldoradimon and basically act as a cushion for him. Because first they're trying to get the turtle to like... Because he's like going straight down at first, but then they try to like...
First. Now he's trying
he's going head... Yeah. He's going head first, and then they're trying to get him to like... You know, like they do with skydiving, if you spread out, it kind of slows your descent because you got a little more wind resistance.
For a turtle that size, that's a lot of wind resistance.
I'm about to say, like, it doesn't really matter, honestly, with something that big. I mean, it's like throwing a skyscraper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I think the turtle will do fine. It's just whatever it happens to land on, and also
he's just landing in the ocean.
Land nearby.
See, personally, I was really invested. I wasn't thinking so much about that. I was really invested in the physics of Ty's hair in this episode.
Ty's hair has forever and will forever defy gravity.
I was so expecting him to put on this goggle. Like, because of the wind.
I know, right? Like, Sorry, go ahead.
They nearly flew away, too.
Yeah, it's like they fly off his head, so he puts them around his neck for safekeeping. And then as they're falling, he puts them back on his head.
And then...
and does not put the goggles on.
And it's moving a little ahead to the next episode. He doesn't put his goggle on while he's, like, drowning.
Ty's goggles are not practical. They are for aesthetic only.
By the way, I will point out, this is not the first time that he has failed to, when he's underwater, put the goggles over his eyes.
Like I said, they're there for aesthetic purpose. They don't actually work.
They probably don't have
They're
lenses.
attached to his skull.
He was born with them.
Yeah.
He came out the womb with goggles on.
Yeah, he was born an anime protagonist with goggles.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, in the real world, the gangs tried to prevent wars between the US and Iran.
Oh god. It's just like, it's weird. Like, I'm gonna just say up front that these 2 episodes are essentially filler. But they keep cutting back to Izzy trying to avert global war.
Yes.
Because everyone keeps thinking these shipping malfunctions are like an act of terrorism.
Like, there's some seriously complicated political intrigue in all this.
And the best part of it is Mimi pretending to understand any of it.
Oh, trust me, I was just like Mimi. I had no idea what any of this meant. I was just like, okay, I'm here for the ride. We'll just go with this.
Well, what got me at first, in this first episode, is that, like, Mimi is, like, trying to understand an acronym, and then Joe has to mansplain to her what it actually is. And it's weird, because it's one of those jokes that I think is, like, a Japanese word joke, and I don't think would really translate to English, because, like, it's just the way she's saying it, and Joe's like, no, your phrasing is a little off, it's actually this. And I'm like, okay, it's one of those doesn't translate very well jokes.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it's probably a pun. It's most definitely a pun.
Yeah. But yeah, basically these little yellow slime creatures are attacking the internet world, and that's what's causing the ships to malfunction.
Yeah, they're attacking the GPS navigation this time around.
Right. And this is getting into the next episode a little bit. I love how Izzy is basically trying to explain to the audience how shipping GPS works. Like, just gives you a brief 30-second, like, how their system navigations work.
I mean, that's what Mimi's here
like,
for.
What? Yeah, Mimi's like, yeah, sure. That makes sense. She's like, yeah, I get it. He's like, sure you do, sweetie. It's alright. We don't understand either. Oh, man. But yeah, this first episode where they're just falling, it's fine. It's just a filler episode. Leomon and his friends show up again to kind of help out. And having Leomon around is always a good time, so... Yeah,
they swoop them off midair on their little birds. Well, not little.
I know, they were gonna die, and then, like, Leomon's like, nah, fam, I got you. Was there anything you guys wanted to really bring up about this episode? Anything that stood out to you guys?
The first thing I thought of, like, after that little news clip thing, is like, man, if it was back in the, like, early 2000s, how are 4 kids gonna, like, do the whole political thing?
I mean, yeah, I mean, they still, like, launched a nuke in the movie. They didn't, like do anything about, like, terrorism or anything, but, like,
well,
yeah, this is good. That'd be kind of a hard sell back in the day.
Yeah, they never had anything to deal with multiple nations. It's always, oh no, our own system has an issue.
You're right. It was never there was only a global crisis for that little bit in season 2, but even that was kind of, just silly. Jeanette, was there anything that stood out to you about this one?
Not really, beyond the things that I've mentioned.
Right. Yeah, so it's kind of a fillery episode. It's like just them falling out of the sky for 20 minutes.
Did Kari show up in this episode or next? I watched them back to back, so it got a little bit.
Kari shows up, like, Kari is so flippin' weird. She always has been, but she's like especially weird as a child. Because she like just shows up out of nowhere and Sora just turns around and she's just staring at her, being a weirdo, and Sora's like, "Oh, hey, don't mind us, go sit over there."
Well, she didn't say go sit like, over there. She just like, they just kind of ignored her because they had more important things to focus on, and then
it's just
Kari just stood
but
there.
she's like, but Kari's like sitting across from all of them, and they're like trying to like not let on what they're doing to her. Like, she's like what, 6?
Just say
like,
it's a video game.
She cares. I don't know, man. But I guess getting into the second episode, this is, I feel like, even more fillery. Because like not a lot happens on the Matt and Ty end. A lot happens on the other kids' end,
which is a nice refresh, like kind of turnaround.
Yeah.
Most of this episode just really bugged the F out of me with how lazy and how cheaply animated it was, and I could not get into this episode at all.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Like, it's like take a shot every time they recycle the Leomon and Friends animation.
I was about to say, man, it's been a while since I've seen an anime recycle animation this hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing when they recycle the transformation sequences, because that's just, what you do in that. But damn, yeah, like Leomon throwing a punch and Falcomon throwing his little bombs, you just like see them recycled over and over and over again. Oh,
and then there's that terrible 3D running like sequence. I mean, the characters were in 2Ds, but the land that they were running on was this really bad After Effects 3D thing.
I didn't even notice, to be honest. And I watched this episode like a half hour ago.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. And then there was the whole like Anaconda-esque plotline where they're like on the island. I mean, I know Anaconda, the point is it's a moving boat, but they're just like fighting all these Seedramons and snakes, and it's really drawn out.
Where do they come from?
Yeah, it's really drawn out and unnecessary, like my constant segues in this podcast. So
yeah. So yeah, this episode is basically just like Matt and Ty fighting a bunch of Seedramon. And I learned a few things from this episode, actually. One thing I learned is there are 2 different versions of Mega Seedramon, which I did not know. Because the first one shows up, and they're like, "Oh, it's Waru Seedramon." I'm like, I get that must be his Japanese name. And then another one shows up, and they call him Mega Seedramon. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, okay, so I looked it up. And yeah, Mega Seedramon and Waru Seedramon are 2 separate Digimon.
Are there more variation? I feel like there might be.
I don't know. I guess Mega Seedramon is just like, generic-ass evolution of Seedramon, and like, Waru Seedramon's like the dark version. It shoots like dark energy or something. But it was weird. But also I learned that Digimon have piercing damage. Because, well, first off, we see one of the only instances I can think of natural Digimon evolution. Because obviously the partner Digimon can do it because they have their connection with their partners, but you see a Seedramon just like go ham on this giant lobster Ibidramon, takes it underwater. It's very implied that he ate him, took his energy, and evolved.
And then he called for help. Well, not help, called, and ring the dinner bell, that's it.
Yeah, because like, every time they like think they're beat a Seedramon, another one shows up, and then another one shows up until there's like 5 of them.
Yeah.
It's like, where do they keep coming from? And one of the most brutal things I've seen on this show, one of the Mega Seedramon actually, like, cuts Greymon, like, slices his stomach a little bit.
Yeah, that's...
And in return, Greymon uses his horn to straight up vivisect one of the Mega Seedramons, just, like, in half. It's, like, the most brutal thing that's happened on this show so far. So that was weird.
Well, in the real world, Easy figured out a way to bounce off SOS signal and play telephone with the entire global shipping network to fix their system.
Izzy helped circumvent an international incident. I don't think we're
God.
I don't think we're acknowledging that enough.
Yeah.
No, he like did this intense hacking stuff to completely save everyone. Like it was some real war games.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, get Izzy to the Pentagon or something.
Yeah, Izzy is clearly wasted as a Digidestin.
Right?
And then...
It's like, do you want to handle, like, global affairs, Izzy? Like, do you want to just do that? No, he's gonna go start his own tech company when he's, like, a teenager. If Trice is still canon.
He has a very bright future.
And then Kari just stared at them, and then, boom, they're back in the digital world.
Oh my god. Kari just, like, out of nowhere uses her weird avatar powers.
She's like, someone is calling for me.
It's weird because, like, Joe's like, shit, we need to get back to Digital World. How do we even do that? And then they just turn to Kari, and Kari's like, someone's calling to me. And then a bright light shows up. And then they just happen to warp to wherever Matt and Ty are and just wreck these Seedramon that were about to, like, destroy everything.
There were no effects when they got, transported. It's just bright light, a still glowing, like, still image of a glowing aura. Like, not even the whole digitizing, vapor thing that they do.
Yeah. It's just a bright light and boom, you're there.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you need?
Yeah, these are really filler episodes just from the animation quality.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially with this recycled animation. It's just like, we need to kill time between the next arc, so, do something. Just don't spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah. I cannot wait for the last arc, though, especially with how this episode ends. I think it's leading into something really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to be happening next, because I think they're just kind of moving on to whatever the next continent they're supposed to be going towards is, but all 8 kids are together now. Kari doesn't have her partner yet, but, all 8 kids are together.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we got that.
Now, are we gonna get what's her name? What's Kari's Digimon? I forgot.
Oh, Gatomon?
Yeah, Gatomon. Are we gonna get that arc, or is she just gonna show up as good? Or are we gonna face a bad Gatomon?
I don't know, because Kari and Gatomon's, like, origin is, like, firmly planted with Myotismon and stuff, so I don't know if, like, he's gonna show up if we're skipping Edamon as a bad guy. That whole arc. I think they're kind of going off in a completely different direction this time. Devimon was kind of a loose, like, okay, he was the bad guy of the first arc of the first show, but that kind of went off in a completely different direction. So it is anybody's guess as to where they're going from here. It is constantly throwing curveballs, and keeping me guessing. Do you guys have any other thoughts about this episode? Or
You guys are missing a little bit of, like, fun little things by skipping the whole encyclopedia or whatever at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah?
Izzy was talking about Mega Cafeteriamon and saying that how comfortable it is to sit on his head, but he wish there's a tablet mount.
I did catch the end of that one. I thought that was funny.
He'll ask for it next time.
I'll ask him next time if I just, like, mount my tablet to his head. Yeah. This living creature.
And Joe, what's Joe's partner at that level? I forgot the name.
Zudomon?
Yeah, Zudomon. Apparently the shells is from his victory. That's not part of him.
He killed something and took its shell?
Yeah, so Izzy was speculating, will we be getting, like, will we see, like different shells depending on his mood.
That's actually kind of an interesting way to go. I was like, does Zudomon have interchangeable shells?
Mm-hmm.
Jeanette, did you have any other thoughts?
There was another thought I have, and I cannot think of it right now. I guess the only thing is, if you want a good time, look how the different ways that Joe's face is animated throughout this episode. Like, it looks so bad. Although I did think, I really like the music that played when Joe and Zudomon appeared to fight the Snake Mons or Seedramons.
Yeah, man.
I thought that was cool too.
It's pretty rocking.
But yeah, otherwise, I don't really have any other thoughts.
Yeah.
There wasn't too much to these episodes, and I just really didn't like them. So
Yeah.
I did. Oh, sorry, Gary. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just agreeing. I'm actually glad that we doubled up this time around. Not because that the stories are connected, just because there's not much content.
No, yeah. These double episodes we've been doing the last couple of weeks have actually come in handy because either the stories run together or a single episode is not a lot to talk about, I guess. Yeah, I'm kind of in that camp where, like, these are very much filler episodes. I had fun with the Seedramon episode just because it kept getting more and more ridiculous. Just, like, one Seedramon, then there's two, and then there's five, and then just keep showing up. And then just Izzy avoiding a global crisis. It's just like, sure, this 8-year-old could do that, why not? He's the world's smartest child. And nobody knows. But yeah, so I guess there you go, guys. There's our thoughts on these filler episodes. Hopefully we get back to more central plot stuff soon. Maybe next episode. I'm curious as to what everyone else's theories are about what direction this show could be going in. Like, if we are going to go into Myotismon territory, or maybe we're getting a completely new bad guy. Who knows? But like I said at the beginning of this show, if you'd like to talk to us about this episode, feel free to drop us a line on our Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or Discord. You can find the links for all of those in the show notes. And if you're not doing so already, we are available on pretty much every streaming platform if you'd like to take us on the go with you. But again, my name is JD, and thank you, Jeanette and Gary, for being here as always, and thank you everyone out there for listening. Be sure to tune in, I guess, next week or the week after. Depends on, what we're doing. Holidays are a difficult time to schedule. But I guess just stay tuned, and we'll be back again soon with more Digimon.
Bye.
Yay! Have a good one, guys.